Okay, hi there and welcome in my next video. In this video I will be continuing writing a Mortal Kombat game in XNA, but there are several things I have to tell you. I have tried to make a sprites from the videos and from the game Mortal Kombat 9 to make the graphics pretty cool. You see here was my try, first frame, second frame, third frame, fourth frame. There was the fifth one, but pretty much this was what was shown, not a nice animation. It wasn't really nice and good, and in my opinion I really would like to make the game system and later on just maybe change some animations or sprites, because it may be later on changed. Because of this problem, that the animation wasn't really nice, I downloaded a morph program that just morphed the files. So you see that it created frames between the movement. So the movement should be more fluent, at least I thought. So this was what I implemented into the game, and I tried to run it. And you see it pretty much works and it is fluent, but well, this is not possible because even now my eyes really hurt when I see that. That's not really good. So I was quite upset because of that, and I decided to get the sprites from the lower, from the Mortal Kombat 2 maybe. Those sprites were available on a website. It was here. You've got here pretty much sprites for, I guess, all the characters, but the graphics won't be really good, I must say, unfortunately. But it will be a game suited for the PC. You will be able to control it with the keyboard, and I think that is pretty much worth it. So I go to debug and resources custom, and here are the characters. This is the folder with the previous characters and sprites. So Sub-Zero pretty much folder with all the sprites here. So I name it, and easier to understand, I name it 2. 3, god damn it, 3, 4, 5, and finally 6. So pretty much this is not necessary. You would say that it is possible to just add the 0 in front of it, but I want to have it nice and clean for future maybe adjustments. So now right click the Sub-Zero folder, add existing item, and we will go to the Mortal Kombat PC, bin, 86, debug, resources custom, characters, go to Sub-Zero and normal stance. We add all of these and add it here. And because what I like is to keep quite same hierarchy of the folders in the resources custom as well as in the folder I've got here. So I'll add here a new folder and name it normal stance, and take all of these files and put them into the folder. So off we go. For this purpose we'll go to load content, and please make sure that you have got here exactly same code as I do, because I deleted here first loading. It was the first frame. So here is load frames for the splash screen when animating, load frames for Sub-Zero normal stance. So we change here just the number to 6, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. So here will be I from 0 to 6, which will create 7 frames with the beginning frame of the 0. All we have to do now is to just barely load the texture frame with characters / Sub-Zero / normal stance forward slash, where this is gonna be the folder we created, plus the I to string, which will pretty much make the number. Now to make sure pretty much that everything is alright, we run it. And you see that it kinda works, makes the animation. It looks pretty cool, but it's quite fast. So adjust here the number here. From 30 we will make it bigger, so it will be slower. So 200 maybe. Yeah, so you see that the animation is pretty cool, but you see that it goes there and then it starts from the beginning, which is not pretty cool in my opinion, because it should go back again and forward again, like reverse the frames, which is exactly what we are gonna do. We are gonna navigate to the add animator void we've got here, and we are gonna add here one more argument, and it will be bool. Oh, not bool, we will create here a enum. So public enum animation type. I will explain that. Yeah, give me a second. And here will be normal and reversed. So to understand this, the normal stance or the normal animation type will be when you go through the frames, and when you get to the last frame you will start from the beginning, which will be the normal animation. The reversed animation will be that you will go from the first frame, you will go to the last frame, and then from the last frame you will go to the first frame, just reversed, and then it will repeat. But it will be quite, yeah, it will collide with the, alright. So I will create here a new one, which will be normal under slash or whatever it is, reversed, normal reversed. So now the normal will be from the first one to the last one, and then again from the first one. The normal reversed state or type will be that we will go from the first frame to the last frame, and then from the last frame back to the first frame, meaning that it will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then repeat. The normal one will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so on. The reversed type will be that it will go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and so on. So now the animation type should be included to our animation class. So go to the animation animator. Now put here new variable public, and it will be animation dot animation controller dot animation type anim type. Just to make this a little bit easier to understand, I will go back to definition, and here under or above the enum I will write 3 forward slashes to create a summary, and I will write it here just for making the code clean and nice, which is our pretty much, yeah, that's what we want, make the code nice and clean. So normal will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, well, whatever. The normal reversed will be the normal reversed one will be a 0, 1, 2, well, to make this 3, 4, and then it will be 3, 2, 1, 0. And lastly we've got the reversed, which will be just yeah, it will be 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So now we see here what we meant here. So to implement it here, we will require here at the add animator new variable, which will be animation type and type. We will add it also to the animation object or animator object, so anim dot. Now the type. Hopefully I created it. Yeah. You see anim type. No, anim. Okay, hold on. We've got here anim type and animation type. So we go back to the animator class because there is something terribly wrong. Yeah, anim type here. I'm just stupid. So anim type will be the type. Now we've got it. Now we see that we have to specify it here. So here, let's say that we are gonna make it normal because there is no refinement. The animation for the Sub-Zero normal stance, which is here, I make here a comment. Sub-Zero normal stance. The animation here will be, the animation here will be, let's say, normal reversed, because we will go there and then back. So normal reverse, which is basically why we are doing this. We go back to the animator class, which is here, and have a look around. Hold on please, I have to think about it. Alright, so here in draw method, you see that we are just drawing the current frame. So all the stuff will happen here in the update method when we are changing the current frame index right here. So frame switch when the time is supposed to be, and you see that the current frame index increases, and if the current frame index is just the last one, then it resets to 0. So what we are gonna do is to add here a little bit more conditions. So make here those brackets and type here switch the anim type. For those that do not know what switch pretty much is, when you've got some variable that may have different types, different values, for example it may be a number like integer, so you just use a switch and then you write here case and you may select one of the cases and then it will run the code in which case it really happens. So if it would be a number variable, I would write here case 0 for example, or case 1, and then something will happen. So we are gonna ask for the normal one, then we write double dot, which tells the compiler to run the code. And then we are gonna write, sorry, not return but break. Break is gonna break from this clausel. If you would write return, it would return from the entire method. We are gonna add a little bit more cases here, so copy it and just change the variable here to normal reversed and to reversed. So we are gonna be interested in the normal. If it is gonna be a normal, we take this one and move it here. So because if it is normal, then it's gonna run from the beginning, which means that the frame is gonna be 0 again. That's it. If it is, however, normally reversed, then the current frame index will decrease. But yes, now I made quite a mistake and stupidity, because it may be here. So sorry. Here, write if the anim type equals anim type normal reversed. Wow, this is quite strange because we have to determine. Okay, we will write here a private bool is going, is animating backward. It will be set to false. I will add here a comment later on, and I will explain that backward. So now here, because we don't know whether the current frame index should be +1 or -1, because it really depends whether it came to the last frame or not. So if here it's gonna go to the last frame and it is gonna be the normal reversed one, we will just change this variable I created right here to true. So is animating backward will be true. So now if is animating backward, then the current frame index will be minus, else it will be plus. That's quite easy. So now here, to make this code cleaner, I will write here set the animation to backward state. So it's gonna animate just backwards. Now what is gonna happen here, because we are making the frame index lower and lower, but it can't be -1 pretty much. So here, when we've got the if clause, I always write it here because it's quite easier to understand. So if we are at last frame, but also we have to check whether we are at the first frame, because if it is reversed, so if we are at first frame, and here opening bracket, reversed animation, just to understand this. So now we don't really have to, well, we really have to, we have to switch for the animation type, because if it is animation type reversed, then we are gonna just start from the last frame again. So we are gonna set the current frame index to textures count. And don't be afraid of this, I know there is a mistake, because it must be if current frame index is smaller than 0, then we are, well, it can't be smaller than 0, if it equals 0, because if it would be smaller than 0, that means, for example, -1, it may be drawing here and it can't draw textures -1. That would be an error. So if it is 0 and it is reversed, it's gonna start from the last frame. And if it is normally reversed, then it's gonna go just forward again. So we are gonna set the is animating backward to false. So what is gonna happen here? It's gonna go over and over, and it will check here if it is animating backward. It will be false, so it will make this index bigger and bigger again. So it will just repeat. So now I think that there is no error, because if we imagine we are just in normal stance and it will be a 0 here, it won't do anything, because that's just for those cases. So I think, we are ready to go, run it, and we've got an error, nice one. So it's 7, wow, really? God damn it. So for this purpose, I will check here the game one whether I missed something. So the loading, alright, so as you see in the animator, I made here a break, and we will find the error. So now it is gonna make it bigger, and if the index is equals, the count is 7, it can't be 7 really, it must be just 6. 6 is the last one, and the count is 7. So, oh god damn it, I hate those collections because it's so, wow, it's really okay. So here we are, 6 is the last one. So, and count is 7. So we are gonna check if it's gonna be bigger than count minus 1. Count minus 1 will be 6, which is the last frame. And if we are the last frame, we want to show it. Wow. So 6, I got it. Okay. The textures count is 7, but there are 6 frames available. So if I would write here minus 1, so if the current frame index will be 6, it will then change the frame, and the last frame will not be shown, because it will realize it's the last frame and it will change it. That's not what we want, because we basically want to show the last one. But well, I will run it to make sure it will be. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter, because you see that the animation pretty much is alright now. It moves itself, so the sprite is moving. It's pretty cool, and we've got it. So that's right. So now to make this a little bit more fancy, we are gonna add more and more moves. For this repose, I will have to prepare it. So you might skip this part, because it will be quite annoying. So the next move is the next stance when fighting Gwen and so on, but we need something more interesting, for example moving. So it's gonna start at the 0023 and ends at the 0031. 0023 0031, that's here. So all of this, cut them off, and make here a new folder and name it walk. Paste it here, and again change those names to make it 0, because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, because yeah. 0, 1, 2. You see that programming is not every single time just nice writing, yeah, code writing. That's sometimes terrible. Oh fuck, yeah. Sprites making. So now we've got it here, the walk. So implement it to our game, add it to the Sub-Zero, add a new folder, and it will be walk. By the way, if someone would be interested in making some sprites for me, he may post it, for example, yeah, extracting it from, for example, Mortal Kombat 9. That would be nice. You may post it in here. I will finish it, and then I will share the game with you. So we've got here the walk 0 to 8. So go back to the game 1, and you see that we are loading here the frames for the Sub-Zero normal stance. Now we need to load it for the Sub-Zero moving, well, walking stance, and it's loaded here into the array. So here you see the struct normal stance. I change it to, well, I will make a difference here, because there is no really need for making here another struct for it. So I will delete this struct named normal stance, and this variable won't be a textures array, but it will be just name normal stance, which will be quite better. We also have to change it here, so we will be loading it to textures dot normal stance. And off we go. So get back to the textures and make here another array, well, list, and name it, for example, walking stance. You might notice that all the textures are facing to the right, but there's no problem because we may flip it. There's no problem at all. We may flip it in the drawing method. So now the normal stance is loaded. Yes, normal stance here. And now we copy this and paste it here. And you might see that if I would make here all of these for each movement, like the loading for each movement, adding the animation. Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. Sorry. This is adding animation. So here, this is what I want. Loading the frames. So load the frames to Sub-Zero, and now change this to walk stance. So textures dot walking stance. So character Sub-Zero, and now it will be, the folder name is pretty much walk here. It's not normal stance but walk. So change it here, and we've got here frames from 0 to 8. So change this to 8. And we run it, and there is no error. The animation is pretty much moving, doing stuff. So now, ladies and gentlemen, just make this a little bit more interesting, and we will move ahead and do the input. Checking the user input. I forgot how I did it here. I see here some struct for the input. So we'll go to update method and check it. So here it gets the input, and it updates the splash screen, and it updates the animator controller by the game time. But we need a player. We need player class, which will do all the stuff, change the animation, hold also what character you pretty much have. So we will make here a new folder, add folder, and it will be players. It must be S, because in it I will add new item, and it will be player without the S, player, which will be the object we will have here, and we add a new item which will be player manager, player / manager. So here we go, we've got here two blank classes. So the idea is pretty much simple as with the animations. We will have a player manager that will hold the array of players. Of course we will have just 2 players, but it will hold the player object. So yes, that will be just easy, and it will also control maybe the input of each of them. I don't know yet. So now first thing I will definitely make here is the public static. I don't know whether it should be public. Well, let it be. Sorry, not public but player. And I can't really make it list, because list, we can't really change the value inside the list. We can by converting it to array, of course, but then we have to convert it back to the list. So why to trouble with converting from list to array and then from array to list back? That's no sense. So just make it an array. So public static player array, name it player / array, and we will add a new initializer. We will create a new array of size 0. This is really important because it's not null at the moment. So now we will add here, okay, sorry, I make this private because we shouldn't be able to access it and change it by an accident. So I write here public static void add player. This void may be called from the menu when user chooses the character pretty much. It will add a player to the array. But if we would call it more times, it will add new and new players, which is exactly what we do not want. So make this well, let it be, maybe I will modify it later on. So player array, and we will write in front of it array dot resize ref player array, and the size will be player array dot length plus 1, which pretty much length will be 0 and plus 1 is 1, so it will create one new line in the array. It's not a line but one new item in it. We will do it once more, so we will have two of them, but we can also do it by writing here plus 2, so we will have two of them here. Now we have to pretty much create a player, but how to do that? We'll go to player array, and we will access the first member in it, and let's say the first one will be player, user every single time. Second one might be artificial intelligence or another player we are playing with. So it is gonna be a new player. Now we go to the player class and we create a constructor here, public player. This is basically constructor. It maybe I explained it already. It is run whenever you just make a new reference to the object. So what we want to have here, first construct the variables here. We would like to have here, well, one more thing, never do those variables public, because once you can access them, you might screw that up in later on. So always do the properties for making the code a little bit better. So private, we don't really have to write a private because that will be, the code will be longer. So bool is AI. This will pretty much be whether the player is artificial intelligence or pretty much not. So here will be bool is AI. Those one will be, I will make here the I small, so is AI, this is AI. So whether it will be a artificial intelligence or not. Next we have to assign it a character, which will be either Sub-Zero or something like that. For this purpose we will say that it will be Sub-Zero every single time, because we have only one character here. So what we want here in the player, we might want here health, so int health, which will be always something like 100. You see? Then we need, well, let it be, doesn't matter. So we create a new player. Let's say that the AI will be false, and the player will be player 1 pretty much. Yeah. We should also change the position of the player. Well, god damn it. Okay, let's say it will be a, yeah, the Sub-Zero every single time. But now I'm thinking about one thing, how to pretty much do that, how to, yeah. So we'll go to game 1 and grab the line here. Here it creates animator for the splash screen, and here is the Sub-Zero normal stance, which we cut off. We go to player manager. Where is it? Here. And here might be something like an update, so we write public static void update. Here we will put all the input and so on. I will paste the code here just to have it somewhere. And we've got here the update method. For this purpose we will need the keyboard state, the previous one and the actual one. So keyboard state, I need to copy it from the game 1 because I'm not sure about the real name of the object. Yeah, keyboard state. Got it. So keyboard state, let's name it prev state, which will be the previous one. Keyboard state, key state, which will be the actual one. Or maybe actual state. So add the libraries here, and we've got it. So now to check what will pretty much take place. So all the animations will be done here in the update method. The question of the changing the animation of the characters according to the character player pretty much has will be, I will do it later on because I will have to think about it. It will be quite more tricky. Maybe I will have to inherit, or I don't know. Yeah, okay, so now just check for the keys. So if is key down, here will be all the if directories checking for the keys that are pressed. So let's say that when we press keyboard key D, we would like the character to move to the right. So we will take an actual state dot is key down. If the key is down, and it will be keys dot D. So if the user pretty much presses the D and he holds it, so as long as the user holds the D keyboard, the D key, we will add animator. This will be pretty stupid because basically it will add more and more animators. So yeah, we've got here animation.animator controller, add animator. We might create there something like a library of animations that may be run later on. So God damn it, this is quite this is really a problem, I must say. Well, let's make here make in the player here, player will have a state, a stance pretty much, which will be stored here in player manager. So create here a public enum, and let's say player state. And I will explain that. Pretty much this will be what the player is doing at the moment. So let's say it will be walking or nothing, and according to the state it will play an animation. That's quite easy. So player state. So here will be none, which will be pretty much the normal stance, and then walk. The player state will be implemented into our player class. So player manager dot player state state, and the state will be set to pretty much none by default because that's it. He starts at doing nothing. Here, if the key is down, key D, we will write here player, and now let's say that the key for this will be solved also later on because different keys might be for different users. Well, I mean players. For example, if you would play with a friend, so player 1 will have WASD and some other keys, and player 2 might have arrow up, arrow down, arrow right, arrow left. It may be also changed in the future, but that's more complex. So player array 0, which is the player we have, dot, and now I don't know how I can't access it. So now go to player and here make an exception, so make this one public. So we might set it, we might read it. So player array dot state equals player state walk. As well, we will write here just an else to make it work and show you that it works. It will be later on solved some differently, in my opinion. So else the state will be none. Now, how to make the animation? This will be quite a problem because it will be according to the state of the player. So we have different possibilities. We might draw it in the player. We might draw it in the player, or we might do it somewhere else. This is quite a problem, so yeah, I didn't count with it. So else those variables are, I think, in game 1. So game 1 not variables. But as I say, it would create really a lot of animators. So that's never mind. So now nothing happens because we don't call the update method. Yeah, we put this one as well as here, and I comment this one because it would add animators when we are not pressing anything, and it will add a lot of them, because it will fill the array, and that's not really good because the animators will collide with each other. That's what we have to think about in future as well. So subzero.textures.walking stance, and it will be pretty much same. So now when I press the D, oh yeah, I don't call it. Nice. I need to call this. God damn it. So go to game 1, find the update method, which is here, and update the player manager. players.playermanager.update. Previous state, so variables. Input dot previous state, previous key, variables, input, new key. And now I realized I forgot something. So go to the update method, and here we see previous state, actual state, and we are here referencing to the game 1 variables somewhere. No, we are not, sorry, I'm confused. So now it should be done, and here index out of range, because we didn't add player, that should be done. Yes. So here go to game 1, go to load content, and after the load content we will add players. So players.player manager add player. So now nothing pretty much shows up. When I press D, it pretty much does the walk animation, but you see that it walks. However, when I press the D and I keep it pressed, you see it adds a lot of animators, as I told you, which is not what we want. So go to animator controller, and here you see add animator. Before we add an animator, we have to check whether it is there already. This may be done by the texture list, because each animation will have its own texture list. It won't have its own maybe X and Y, but the texture list will be every single time same. So we have to check that. So first of all, before I do something, check whether the animation or animator is there already. Now we will use a for each iteration because we don't have to change the texture list of the object. So for each animator A in animator list, if A dot textures equals the texture list here we are parsing, then we know that the animator is there already. To make this a little bit easier to understand, I will add here those brackets, type here comment, the animation is there already. So what we want to do now, we will not add an animation because it's there. So why would we do that? So we write here a return, but this is quite strange because we might want to run the animation, so we will run it. So we type a dot, and now something like animate. Oh, where is the God damn it. Let me see the drama effect. Let me see the animator. Yes, so we create here a new variable, public bool is animating. It will be, it doesn't really matter what it is, because here will be the draw method. So if it will not be animating, it will return. I write here the yes. So if it is not animating, then it returns. As well as here in the update method, why we would bother by checking all of this if it is not animating? There's no sense. So here when we add an animator, all in this, we have to type here anim dot is animating and set it to true. So here just we found an animation in the array, so we just write a dot is animating and we set it to true, because it might be set to false or something like that, and then we return. We will return null because we didn't create an animator. Well, yeah, so now when I run it, and when I, yes, you see, it pretty much works. It is doing the movement, but it is doing it backwards, and yeah, the stance is not good. So now, yeah, now go to the player manager, and now you see that we made the walking stance, and it should be a normal, not reversed, not normal reversed or something like that. So else the state will be none. So when I press the D, it is moving. But we don't see all frames, I think. Yes, I go to work and make sure. Yeah, the animation is fluent, but we are there missing one frame, which is the last frame. God damn it. Wow. So that doesn't matter. Now to the pretty much problem we had. That's the animation, because we will be trying to add an animator or something like that. That's not really good. Yeah, just adding an animator every single time we want an animation, that's not good. So when we've got here add player, we should keep somewhere list of the animations, which will be quite really good. So here I add here a new void, public static void, generate animations. So we will generate animations. And we will have here a list of animations, but a little bit in different way. Oh, yes. Here we go to animator controller, and let's say that we would like to have an animation that will be walking animation. So if we want to run the walking animation, we just call some void and parse it an argument that it is gonna be walking animation, and it pretty much launches it because the object is there already. This is exactly what we are gonna do. So you see that there is a animator list, which is a array of animations. We are gonna create here a struct, public struct animation list structs. In this structure there will be the animation, so public animation, or the animator. I will name it animator, but there will be also something like a enum of what animation it is. It may be a object in the animator, but I don't think so. That's a good idea. I will create here enum, public enum, animation type, and it will be normal stance and walking. This will be the animation type. So first of all we will load all the animations, and then we just select which one we want to play. So here will be public static void play animation. Animation type. And this list here will be an array of the animation struct. So when we add an animator here, we are gonna look for each struct in animator list, and if struct dot animator dot textures etc. So that's it. And to make this a little bit easier to understand, I will rename it to animation list. So we've got here animation list, and this is the struct. Here we will add a new variable, public animation type. So what we are gonna do pretty much is just here creating a new animation struct. Now adding that struct dot animator is gonna be the anim we created right here, and the struct dot type is gonna be the type we bind to it, which will be God damn it, I created two same enums. Wow. So this I will change to animation name. That's better. So type, and this will be changed to anim type. We create a new variable, animation name, anim name. So off we go. So we create a new structure. So let's say stru is new animation struct, and the type is gonna be anim name. We go we change this to the animation name here and name it anim name instead of the type. It's better. God damn it. So off we go, and we add it finally to the list. So this will be something like a loading thing. We don't have to make it function anymore. So we put off this null, but it will return. This is important. But well, I'm not sure. Lord. So check is no longer important, and here is animating will be set to false because it will just load the animations. We will refactor and rename this void, name it load animator, and it will be held in array. Here will be play animation, and it will be according to the type. So now we will write for each the animation list struct as in animation list. We'll just look through them and search for the animation that we pretty much want to launch. So now as dot animator dot animation type equals type, and we add there a if clause. So if as dot animator type anim type equals the type, then we are gonna launch it. So as dot animator dot is animating will be true, and it will be pretty much it. Now here we are calling the add animator. Yeah, here's remove animator. We don't really have to remove the animators anymore, because there will be loaded all animators that will be required for the game. Draw all, update all. So it will just loop through all of these structs, and it will just be s dot dot. Why is it not showing s dot animator update? And this will be pretty much the same as dot animator draw. It will loop through these, and the name will be s. So yeah, off we go. But now we have to load all the animators. So how to do that? We are calling it here for the sub-zero normal stance. We cut it off once again, and we go to game 1, and it will be here in the load content. So after we add a player, we load the sub-zero stance. Load sub-zero normal stance. Load animator, yeah. And here is a anim type, so it will be normal stance, just to realize. And now we will load the Sub-Zero walk stance. So load, and it will be walk. So that's it, it will load it, and all we pretty much have to do then is just change the variables of the animator. Nothing really hard. Now this will be quite more interesting. So we messed it up now, so we have to make the code a little bit more organized. We go to player manager and we check what we've got here. Here is the walk, here is the none. So the state changes here. So what we should do is go to animation controller, play animation according to the stance we pretty much have, which will be, what the fuck, yes, go to definition and change this from the animation type to animation name. And you see that the animation name will be walking or normal stance, and that's pretty much same as the player state. So why not to make this same variable? So we go back to play animation and to the controller, and the enum may be deleted because that's already in the user controller. So here in animation list struct it will be player manager dot and our player state, which will be the animation name. That's pretty much same. And now the type of the animation. So now go to the animator and change this variable to the players.player manager.player state. And you see that we've got an errors. So all we have to do is just delete this and ask the compiler for some solutions. Why isn't it showing up? I'm asking finally. So it will be none. It will be later on changed, but that's not important now. Now we have to assemble the code and make it working again. Make it work again. Sorry. So this one will be walk, player state walk. So now we see that we are gonna call animation.animatorController play animation.animationController animation name. This is what we are gonna delete because that's the old code. And it's asking for the player state now. So the player state is pretty much same, player state walk. The same thing will be done when nothing is going on. So it will be play state dot none. So this is it. But let's have a look to the play animation again. Go to definition, please. Here it will just run the animation, but it have to cancel all other animations that might be taking place. So he will be else s.animator dot is animating will be false, because yes, we don't really want the Sub-Zero to walk and to move or do more animations at one time. So and then what is this? Oh. So yes, I did a mistake. Nice one. I deleted a enum that was quite vital, so make it here again. So public enum animation type, and we had here, just reproduce it. God damn it. We had here normal reversed, and reversed. So copy all of this and paste it somewhere here. Doesn't matter, I just have to copy the values. So to the enum we add, where's the enum? Animation type, normal, reversed. So what the hell is wrong here? It's here, the animation type. And the animation type, anim type. So here the anim type is animation type, which is here, normal, reversed. Oh, so we should well, go to definition of this, and it's the player state. So oh, change it to, well, I'm confused really. Animator controller dot animation type. Yes, and now the type. I really wonder. Okay. God damn it. I am lost. I don't know why. Yes, I know, because yes. This type is in the structure. So if s dot animation name equals the type. That was the problem that I named it. Really stupid. So anim name, that would be nice. So now we run it and press the D. You see it's working. Really, that's really good. Now if I go to player manager and I go here and check this may be deleted because it's no longer important. So now run the game and we see that here is the else, so the state is gonna be none, and we are gonna play the animation that corresponds to none, and it loops through the animation list and it finds it and sets it to be animating. So it should be drawing us the normal stance of the Sub-Zero, but it is not. So here, load Sub-Zero normal stance, and you see here is a working stance. But why? Because I flipped it, maybe? No, this is the normal stance. This is not the work stance, this is the splash screen. I was confused, maybe, yeah, because I'm talking here about it. So this will be load the splash screen animation. And it doesn't really matter what player state is it. It is, so it might be none. But to make this a little bit more comfortable, I add here one more value that will be null, so that it doesn't correspond to any of these. So this one, which is the splash screen animation, it will be null because it doesn't really correspond to any animation of the player. Load Sub-Zero walk stance. We will just copy this one, and textures dot walking stance. So this will be normal stance. So I change textures dot normal stance, and player state will be none. And here in the walking stance, the player state will be walking. So now it should be working. It isn't. Check it. Check it. So here, when there is the normal stance, it might be normal reversed, and we go to the player, which is, by the way, here. So it finds the okay, I leave it here, so the animator should be animating. Oh, I know, I made a mistake, I think. Maybe. No, I didn't, because it changes the values. Yeah, oh god, you see, it works. So now we are able to walk, and we are able to have a normal stance here. So yes, that's it. The walk animation is not really good yet. That's because here in animator I have a mistake in here. Current frame index should equal to this, because we want to show the last frame. You see? And now we've got an error. I understand what is going on here, but I have no idea how to solve it. It's a nice solution. So here, if we are at the last frame, so if it is count -1, we are at the last frame. Let's make it like this. If it will be nice. So we've got here count is 9. So we want, if the frame index is 8, so it is showing pretty much the last animation. No, if the current frame index will be pretty much bigger than the animation, which is here, then it is gonna jump to the first frame. So how it is working, you see? I corrected it finally. So yeah, the walk animation is pretty cool. Maybe it's lagging because of the it's lagging because of the software that is pretty much recording it. Now So here is the thing, that if we are animating backward, now we are with the index out of range, because we are checking whether we are out of range, pretty much, because if we have count 7, the 7th object doesn't exist in the array, so we now have to make the current frame index smaller, because otherwise we will have an error. So yeah, that's it. So run it again, and yeah, it's working without any problems, and yeah. As well as here, if the current frame index is 0, we are animating pretty much backward, then the current index is gonna be ++. It should be. So now the animation is pretty cool. You see, it is the way it is supposed to be. It is also moving. So yeah, that's pretty cool in my opinion. Yeah, he walks forward, but he is not moving yet. That will be done in future. But now we have just the basic core of the game. So we know that it is gonna animate an animation we add there. It is gonna pretty much do the stuff, and we can just add more and more animations, and then we have it. Yeah, I know it will be just quite stupid small texture, not really good in quality, but I think I can make this to be really cool and good game. So now we should add here one variable, and that is the width, or the rectangle pretty much, of the sprite. So it will be somewhere like really big static one. It is now set here in the game one when we are loading. It is set here by the numbers here. So we make here in variables here, let's say public let's say size. Are we able to use a size if we import here? Oh, no way. Okay, so I will have to do it like an else, really, I think. Well, I can make a rectangle, because yeah, it doesn't really matter. But that will make me more confused. So public structure, new structure. That's the best solution. And name it character size. And we will have here public static int width, which will be whatever, 100, and public static int height. It may be a constant, because public static const int, because we shouldn't be able to change the value whatsoever. So that's pretty much just for making this more safe, because those variables are really set. We shouldn't be able to change them, never ever. Well, excluding the key input, that's just to hold it. So now we have a look here. We've got here in the load, the width was 450 and height was 400. So I change it here, and now we refer to it, which will be quite longer code, but it doesn't matter. So the width will be variables dot character size dot width, and the height will be the height will be character size dot height. So that's it. Now this will be pretty much the same, just no questions. The animations may use this by default. Well, that's not a bad idea, really. Doesn't matter. So here we go. We've got it, and when I run it, there is problem. The constant cannot be marked static. So you want to tell me that constants are static? Didn't know that. Cannot have an instance. Yeah, this can't be just constant. Oh, I'm not working with constants a lot, so yeah, you see, now it's quite stupid. So adjust the width to 420 maybe. Still stupid. I got it. 450. Well, to 500. That's strange. What the hell is that? Yeah, so you see that it is pretty cool now. He is moving the animation rigs. But now what we are gonna do, maybe in future tutorials, is adding more and more animations, then drawing the health and drawing pretty much, yeah, everything we want, because that's it. So now you see it works, it moves. The problem is really getting the sprites, yeah. So that's it. We've got here loading the walk stances, and this is not what I want. So I will make here a private. Well, why here? Yeah, let's say private static void load animations. And this is gonna be really a lot of code in this void, because we are gonna load animations for pretty much everything. So we are gonna put here all of these. So load Sub-Zero walk stance, load Sub-Zero normal stance. So delete it, add it to the load animations, and link it here. So we have to call it. Also loading the splash screen animation, that might be there as well, but I will name it like load characters animations. And I will make here another void. Give me a second, please. Let's say load other animations. There will be pretty much everything else, including the splash screen animation here. So paste it here. Of course we have to call it, so load. And here we go. We've got it nicely in those two voids. And to make it a little bit nicer, so make your region loading voids methods, and we will end the region and region. So no changes, pretty much done. And I will now try to discover why is there the error that it is not showing up when pretty much, yeah, here, because it really should be. So go to player, maybe here. So yeah, it is changed, so I don't know what's the problem. Well, I will have a look at it, and when I discover the problem, I will then explain that, and maybe I will add it to next video, next part, because this is already quite long part. So see you next time, and yeah, stay tuned.